back to the channel. Today I'm super excited. We are doing a pet food review. We're doing another fresh food review, and I did this review specifically for a client. So I am going to walk you through it similar to like I've done some cases with you in the past. And so the pet food that we're going to review today by request from one of my patients is Ollie. Ollie is another one of those fresh food subscription services. So you go online, you fill out a questionnaire, they analyze the information you gave, and then they give you some food, and then they mail it to you, and it's fresh, and you can keep it in the refrigerator or the freezer. And so the specific was for a dog named Jack, and he is a Labradoodle, adult Labradoodle, and some issues with not really being excited about his food. He's not losing weight, but he's not excited. The owner actually has to hand feed him to get him to eat, which she does because she loves him. But I mean, that's a lot to ask for someone, and you really shouldn't have to do that. Also has some, upset stomach where we have a little bit of, regurgitation or bile or sour stomach happening as well. And so she wanted a recommendation, and well, basically she had already found this food, but she wanted me to kind of go through it and see if it was going to be a good choice for Jack, which I was happy to do because I had just recently worked through the farmer's dog, and I wasn't really super enamored by them. And so today we're going to do Ollie, and I'm going to walk you through the process of when I did this food review for her. And so I've already done the review for her, and we're just going to walk through the steps that I took. So let's go to the website first, because I did, that's where I kind of started, like, what is Ollie? I don't really know what it is. And so I kind of had an idea, because a lot of these subscription things are about the same. So you go to their website, and you can see it's got, your typical picture of the fresh food. They have different meal plans that they can choose from. You can choose from. I believe this company actually also does like a dry-based food as well, so you don't have to do just the fresh. I believe they also have a dry version. The first thing that I did was I asked her had she done it and had she gone through it, and she did, and she emailed the company and she got me some information, but I needed a little bit more than what they readily provided. So I actually dove a little bit deeper into this for her. And so originally she had said that she was concerned a little bit about chicken, and maybe that seemed to upset him more. And so I immediately kind of said, okay, well, let's not do chicken or turkey. Those are both poultry. Let's stick with either the beef or the lamb. And so, I just said, well, let's stick with, let's do the beef. And so she gathered all the information for me on the beef, and then as I was looking through it, I noticed that the beef was a grain-free formula. And so the first thing I did was, get on with them and see, do you have any options that are not grain-free? Is this truly, are all your diets grain-free? And what I did was, you have the option, you can email them, which typically what I do. You can call. I almost never do that because I'm always on hold for, forever, and I was doing this in between appointments. You can text, or you can do live chat. And so I actually did the text question, and I was extremely happy by it. Actually, I had a helper, a customer service representative named Ren, and Ren was awesome and answered all my questions. So I was thoroughly impressed with this. So I'm going to put up here on the screen and let you guys see kind of how Ren helped me through this. And Ren was an actual person. I don't think Ren was a robot, so I was really impressed with this. The first thing I asked was, let me pull up my, the first thing I asked them was there any options that were grain-free? Was the beef grain-free? And he or she said that, Ren said that the beef was their only grain-free. All their other options were grain-inclusive. And so that left me with the lamb, because we already ruled out, we didn't want to do poultry, so I focused on the lamb. And if you click on the lamb, you will see that you have cranberries, butternut squash, kale, and chickpeas. And so then again, I was like, well, this doesn't have any grain. Are you sure it has grain? And she said, it does. Let me send you the full ingredient list. It did differ from the ingredient list here, but she did verify for me with a new ingredient list that we have rice in here, so we should be fine with the grain inclusiveness of this. The guaranteed analysis on these is always listed in the minimums and the maximums. And so with that, it's not the exact information we need, because it could be more or it could be less. So I wanted to do a really good review on this. So I asked Ren, can I have the exact numbers on a dry matter basis for the protein, fat, the fiber, the calcium, and the phosphorus? And boom, it was provided to me. So that was awesome. I did look at the AFCO statement, and it is all life stages, which I'm not super happy about, but if everything, ticks the boxes, we might be able to give it a pass on that. It's including growth of large sized dogs. So that essentially means that this food is a large breed puppy food. And so if we find that we're having some issues with weight gain and things like that, we may find that it is a little bit too high in some of the parameters, and we may have to cut back, but we're going to go ahead and do the analysis and see how close we are to the adult standards. The other important thing here is we do need to calculate or recalculate some of the standards, because this is a wet food. It's really high in moisture, and in order to use the standards that we use on this channel, because a lot of times we'll just be doing dry food and they are pretty similar to the standards, the wet food is not. And so we are going to have to calculate the metabolizable energy into dry matter metabolizable energy to see whether or not it is similar enough to the standards. So the standards are based on a 3.5 to 4 kcals per gram metabolizable energy. And so obviously this is 1804, and if you look at these numbers, you're going to say, well, they're really far off. Like protein 10%, that's like nothing. Fat 7, fiber 2, that's nothing. It's because it's canned food, and we have to account for that moisture content. So we need to switch it to dry matter, and then we need to calculate how close on a dry matter basis is this metabolizable energy to the standards. So I've done that. I did a little screen capture here on my iPad for you guys, and so I'm going to walk you through how you calculate transferring this metabolizable energy, seeing how they compare, and then coming up with a multiplier to then do a really good, accurate analysis.
Okay, I know you guys are super jazzed now for some voiceover on math. This is going to be very brief. We're going to have you guys reference the farmer's dog if you want to have a little bit more information on details how to do this. But we're going to do dimensional analysis. So we are going to take the metabolizable energy of the food. We are going to multiply it by the 100% dry matter basis divided by 26, which is the dry matter basis of the food. And that's going to give us a multiplier. And it's going to give us 6938 for the metabolizable energy of Ollie. We're going to take that. We are going to divide it by the standard metabolizable energy, which is 4,000. It's going to give us 1.7. When we multiply each of the dry matter bases from Ollie, 34, 30, 17, and 14 by the 1.7, we are going to find out that Ollie is pretty darn good because everything is within the reference ranges. So that is the short and sweet of that. If you want to know how to exactly do it, please reference the farmer's dog video, and you can see how I did the dimensional analysis. But for today, that is all we are going to do. Okay, now on to the resting energy requirement. You could just use the chart, but we're going to use the formula. 70 times 87 divided by 2.2 to the 0.75. You're going to need the graphing calculator to go ahead and do that. Speeding through, you'll find out that the resting energy requirement is 1102.5. We do want to use the multiplier. He is intact, and that will tell us that his energy requirement is going to be about, 1565, which is right on point. Yay.
Okay, so as it turns out, Ollie was a pretty good food. And so, I emailed her back and I told her, I think it's a great thing to try. I want to do it. I don't want her to switch, formula. So you have the option where you can, you can do beef one day, chicken one day, et cetera, et cetera. We already decided that we were going to stick with the lamb because it wasn't grain-free and it wasn't poultry. But if we hadn't, I had told her, you really want to stick with one food all the time. And so variety sometimes is not the best. For us as humans, we think, variety is great, but for an animal's GI tract, really, variety is not the best thing. So if you think of like a horse or a cow, they eat grass all day and that's all they eat. And if you were to change that, you would throw off their digestive tract. Well, it's kind of the similar thing for dogs. Dogs with sensitive GI tracts, do better with consistency. So I said, let's do this food. We're going to stay consistent with it. Let's do it for 8 weeks because that's how long we need probably to see a result. And then if he didn't respond to it, I really wanted to get into some more medical reasons. And so food can be a great way to solve a lot of minor problems, but it's important to realize that if it's not working, there may be some underlying medical conditions. So if this food doesn't resolve the conditions or make them significantly improved, we're going to look into some other metabolic causes. So that was Jack, and that was Ollie, and I was extremely happy with Ollie. So I told her that I got Dr. Ray 2 thumbs up, and to go ahead and try it. And so hopefully, Jack does well, and we'll know in 8 weeks time, I guess, how that's going. But if you're looking for fresh food and you like that fresh food thing, and a lot of it is marketing, I think, because you can throw me to the wolves, but I think dry food is just as nutritious. But it is a thing that if you're interested in, I'd like you guys to have a good one, and I think Ollie is a good one compared to some of the others, so you guys can check that out. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I actually really enjoyed it myself, doing the calculations and actually finding a good one. So if you enjoyed it, give me a comment below and let me know if you think you're going to try it, and subscribe and ring the bell and do all the fun things, and we'll hang out again in the future. All right, see you guys next time. Bye.